Welcome everyone to Trekking Across the Universe. Woo! On this second day of August 2025, we have our crew here to discuss the new episode of Strange New Worlds. And of course, my screen just crashed and now I can't remember the episode title. Anybody help me with that right now? Even those in the chat room, that would be great if you just chimed in there and said, Michael, this is the name of the episode. And nobody's chiming in. Shame on them.
Aw.
Shame on them.
Here too, and I went to grab it.
A space adventure hour.
Hour,
is the
yeah.
name of
Oh,
the
that's
episode.
right. Yes. Yeah. One of the strange names that they come up with. But anyway, so we are here to discuss it. Who do I want to start with today to torment? How about Aaron? Any just overall thing or?
I really wanted to love this episode, and I wasn't there, unfortunately. I was like, yeah, I feel like this story was a mashup of a lot of other stories, and while it was in its Strange New Worlds sort of context, it didn't feel fresh to me. It didn't feel Strange New Worlds to me. So that's where I'm at with this.
Well, Aaron,
and I love the holodeck. So
I'm right with you there, Aaron. I just was going like, I am not into this episode at all. I think we're a minority though, but I didn't feel it. Liz.
For some of it, I felt like you guys feel. There was quite a few things I had issue with, but at the very beginning when it starts off, it literally had me rolling in my seat because it was so reminiscent of the original Star Trek, of the original Doctor Who, and so many of the other older, the 60s, sci-fi shows. It had all of that feeling. And then the over dramatization of the acting to it, it really made me laugh. But then it got to the other stuff, and then they started talking about the holodeck. And the first thing I went through was, wait a minute, that technology was not actually developed till just right before Firepoint. So why would they be trying to do it 100 years or so earlier? Well, not even quite 100 years, but why would they be trying to do it now and put it into the Enterprise now when it wasn't even onto until the Enterprise followed up years later with Picard? Not even with Kirk, but with Picard. That and the other thing was it seemed like you were pulling too much of Picard's stories out to throw her back into this, holodeck story, mystery, adventure. It was like, okay, that's one of Picard's holodeck stories. Granted, it was from a female theme and a female adventure, but it kind of lost me on that. But other than that, it had its good points and its bad points.
Greg.
Well, first, I gotta argue with Liz here. Have you not seen the animated series?
I have, but it has been so many years.
So
the animated series came after.
They did introduce the recreation deck on the animated series.
I know, and I know that a lot of people consider the cartoon series canon. For me, I have a hard time actually considering them canon. I really do. It's like, okay, I'm going to take it way off track here, but it's like saying that all of Mr. T's cartoons that came out in the early 80s, all of that was reminiscent of the A-Team. All of that's with that, or that was him in the ring. No, it's not canon. And that's kind of how I feel about the cartoon series.
I would agree mostly. A lot of the same writers were involved. They were doing things that they couldn't do in live action, like having the Keishin and the Ito and alien characters that looked really alien that they couldn't get away with in makeup then. At least not on a regular basis. Storylines that they couldn't do. I think the episode I'm thinking of is called The Practical Joker. It was a goofy episode, but characters were trapped on the holodeck or the recreation deck.
Vaguely somewhere in my mind, I remember it. But like I said, it's been, oh God, 35 plus years since I've seen it. So, you know.
Okay, I'll give you that. I watch
Okay.
them all every now and again.
I'm the same way with certain other things, I will admit, just not that one.
But other than that, I loved the goof on the original series.
Oh, wasn't that great though? The music, the fonts, and the whole thing. It was great.
They even had
then
music.
the overacting.
The animated series too.
Well, I love
And the
the
sound
overacting of when they hit. You know, when they would be fired upon, and then they would hit that super huge overacting that, of course, the actors have talked about. You know, since then about what they had to do within their seats and the rocking and all that. And I thought Paul Wesley just played a perfect over exaggeration of Kirk. I mean, he nailed that perfectly. In fact,
Yeah,
I'd
he
want to
almost
know what
reminded me of
Shatner has to
someone
think
else.
about that. Yeah, I know. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what Shatner thought of that role. I really did. How he played it.
I wasn't thinking Shatner. I was thinking Vic Mignogna.
Yeah, I know, but I was talking about Kirk and with him imitating Kirk in those roles.
So, I mean, I got a kick out of all that. The mystery stuff wasn't too bad. But again, yes, it was derivative. I mean, it was, you told the holodeck to make a simulation that would challenge you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Moriarty.
That was right out
Yeah.
of the script of another,
Yeah.
almost word for word.
Yeah, so
It
that was kind
word
of
for word, I
disappointing.
think.
It was kind of disappointing that it was that derivative.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was fun that they explained away the cast members playing the characters in the holonovel by, these are the, we had to use these parameters from the pattern buffer. So,
Yeah.
I thought that was clever. And I love the fact that it ended with outtakes. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, I love the Riker maneuver bloop, not bloop.
Yes.
That
Well,
was
Jonathan
funny.
Frakes directed this one.
Directed
So
it.
it's
I
like,
know. I know.
oh,
Yeah.
did he put you up to that?
Aaron, any more comments or
Not
after
really.
you've heard them spill all that
I
stuff?
feel
Sorry.
no, that the whole thing about it being derivative from other stories, I think was my main gripe, where you are like cherry picking parts from Elementary Dear Data and The Big Goodbye and some of the Voyager stories as well. Yeah, I don't know. I just I feel like bringing this into the show and dropping the things like, if it comes back, it needs its independent power source, which is what they discuss in Voyager as to why it has a separate power system. Yeah, I feel like even the Arch thing and the hologrid and stuff like that, it's so, it just felt like it was the best of every holodeck story into this, and it just didn't, to me, it just didn't feel fresh. Is the only thing I can say about it. The bit with the murder mystery and how it was obviously based on the production of Star Trek, I kind of have mixed feelings about. I read some reviews and people were like, they're really slapping the original production across the face, and it wasn't very respectful and things like that. I initially felt that. I don't know. This one was a tough one for me. There were things that I liked and things that I didn't like, and I personally don't feel like it came together really well. As fun as the thing was at the start, And they apparently had the remastered title sequence as well from the Blu-ray and Netflix version of the original series as the blueprint for this one and stuff. So obviously there was a lot of love and a lot of they drew in a lot to do this episode, but it just, I don't know, wasn't for me.
Yeah, as I said, I just was like, oh my goodness. I honestly had a hard time going through it. Maybe I would have felt differently watching it a second time, but I didn't get a chance. Too many podcasts.
I actually liked it less the second time
Did really? Oh well, then that makes me feel better. I think.
because I started picking it apart. I mean, the first time I was like, "Oh no, they didn't. Oh no, they didn't." Yeah, and it's like I was trying to figure out like who they crossed the Gene Roddenberry character with to get whatever Anson Mount was trying to portray. Was it like supposed to be Woody Allen or?
I'm not certain, but I get really sick of them. This is the second time they've done something so off kilter from Star Trek, and they have done, is my opinion, such a disservice to Anson Mount's character. They have played him absolutely goofy both times. I think the first time was in season 2 at the beginning where they're all in that fantasy world? And
Yeah,
he's like this really stupid dork.
sycophant.
And then this one being this, drunk. I don't think they're playing to the character's best abilities.
No, but he seems like he's having fun with it.
And that's what
True.
he probably wanted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't knock him for it, because he seems like he's a little more goofier than he is serious as a person.
From what I've known about him, yeah, he is. But
yeah,
what did you guys think about? We're pushing more and more towards a romance between Spock and Leanne.
well,
I was hoping it wasn't going to be this soon. Like I was for it. I think last episode or the one before.
Yeah, it was one before.
But I think it just happened really quickly now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You just all of a sudden, kapoof, it's there.
yeah, it's like you almost wonder if Spock was the dog of the series,
Not Captain Kirk.
not Captain Kirk. I was actually thinking something was going to start with him and Uhura because they've established that they, in the movie.
I mean, it's only season 3, Greg, so it could happen in season 4. He could have a different one each
Is he
season.
just going to go through the whole cast?
Oh, he's going to be Kirk. He's going to be the Playboy. Riker and Kirk is now going to be Spock.
Oh man, expressing his half human side.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never like it when they make the personal story the A story. I know the interpersonal relationships are a huge part of Star Trek, but I just don't. I don't want a soap opera when I watch Star Trek. I want a sci-fi.
The mission kind of needs to be the catalyst to have the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Like the mission was kind of the side story this time.
yeah, and it's like the biggest science stuff was Scotty.
Yes, poor Scotty that didn't want to ask anybody for help.
And maybe that was the whole lesson of the show. You need to learn to ask for help.
Maybe.
No, he asked Uhura.
Yeah.
But he didn't ask anybody else.
So.
Well, they couldn't show Spock because the audience wasn't supposed to know that the Spock in the simulation wasn't really Spock.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
also, if they were having this crisis, where the hell was Spock? Like, you cannot tell me he was dancing the whole time.
He had his earphones in, didn't care.
That could be.
They have very strict union rules on the ship, and you can only work for a specific period of time. Then you have to take a 10-hour break.
That might be.
He was down at the pool looking for the ladies.
Probably.
The holodeck pool.
The holodeck pool, yes. Well,
That's why
actually,
it was
didn't the
having
original
trouble.
ships was supposed to have a real pool and a
They
bowling
have
alley.
sonic showers. What pools would they have?
It's in Franz Joseph's drawings
Hmm.
underneath the shuttle bay. Sometimes forward of the warp core. So you know it's a heated pool if that's where it is.
No kidding.
Mhm. That's kind of crazy to think about, but
I like the idea. I thought the holodeck itself looked too modern. I thought it would have been cool if they enhanced it so it was a little more cartoony or a little more geometric, not like quite 8 or 16-bit, but maybe like the holodeck equivalent of like PlayStation 1.
Yeah, that worked.
There was a lot of detail. Speaking of detail, I thought the costumes were great. I loved the girl that plays Uhura had this beautiful dress with all this print all over it. And she actually had this great monologue, that was like summed up everything about, things that people have said about Star Trek over the years. But other than that, meh.
I'm making you yawn too, aren't I, Greg?
No, I got a second wind. When I climbed upstairs to come in here, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to make. Oh, shoot, you did.
she's predicting the future.
I was trying to stop it a minute ago.
That's too funny.
No, I zonked out. I forget what Sue was doing because we stopped the show. And then I woke back up. We picked it back up again. And then by then it was 9:15. Yeah, when it was over.
You need to have her come on the show.
She's shy. I told her to just come in the chat room.
Yeah. Or put an avatar up if you don't want to be seen.
Yeah,
Unless she's going to share the camera with you.
she could. Oh, that reminds me to get my background. No.
Oh, the ones you got.
I like the one you got. Makes us think we're in Starfleet Command.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with the lime green in my t-shirts.
Well, that's because it's green.
Well, it's
see-through. So there you go.
I know, but it's like completely see-through.
Yes.
Like it makes me see-through.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
No, it's just visible to us with X-ray vision. We can see straight through it.
Well,
Which is a little wild.
I was packing for vacation, and I have green screen colored shorts, and I have a green screen colored jersey. I'm like, I could just be arms, legs, and a head.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. We do have a like on Facebook from Tiffany Weiss. Thank you, Tiffany, for that like. We do like likes. But
Love likes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we love likes. But anything else you want to discuss, or is this going to be about it?
I liked. It occurred to me that the science lab, I didn't get a good wide shot look at it, but it almost looks like it resembles the redressable sets in the cage that were like a round room, or like a room that was made to look round by having this thing hanging over the ceiling supported by angled arches on the outside. And there was a couple times when they pulled back on the science lab where Scotty was working everything that I kind of got that vibe. So I don't know if I was imagining it, if it was intentional or just kind of happened. But I did like that. I liked all the graphics. You know, they had a lot more like computer screens front and center on this one.
Well, they did, yeah.
And I wasn't quite sure what was going on with the neutron star because
Yeah.
it was buried to the B story or the C story in this case. You know, neutron stars could have been something interesting they could have taught the audience about.
They could have, but they didn't. So
Just on that, actually, I think there was a line when they were in the briefing room about bringing back Ortegas out of leave or something so she could pilot the ship.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just a bit sad that after the previous episode or the one before, where we were talking about the fact that she had this issue, PTSD issue, and people were worried about her, and she did perform the dangerous thing that put everyone's lives at risk, and then she was going to be reprimanded for it, and then to go back into this story where it was like, oh, we need a pilot, we'll just put her on there and not mention any of that.
I found that kind of disappointing too.
Yeah.
I was hoping maybe something during that, when she's, piloting and doing things, would creep up. Maybe, something in a flashback or a memory or something that would cause her to hesitate. But there was nothing.
No.
Yeah. It may have been that they were written independently, and then when they realized the production order, they had to do something to explain what was going on.
Probably. But I just feel like that conversation that Number One and La'an have about, okay, we're going to bring her out, that potentially could have been the conversation with Erica instead, where someone goes to visit her in her quarters and say, well, we need you for this thing. Can you do this job? Yes or no, otherwise we'll bring in someone else.
Yeah.
And then that would have added to that story rather than just, I think aside from like one little reaction of her at the helm, wasn't really... if you're going to serialize this thing and you're going to have a through line, it needs to be a through line. It can't just be we don't mention it one week. Otherwise, it becomes like Voyager, where there isn't an arc for these characters.
Yes, and then they air them all over the place throughout the year anyway.
Yeah.
But that was one of the writer's strikes, I think.
it could have been.
Who needs continuity when there's a writer's strike?
No. Just a
I'm thinking of Next Generation. The second season of Next Generation had a few episodes that
didn't fall in line.
Some of them were from Phase 2, weren't they, as well?
I think they were.
Storylines? Yeah.
Scripts. I think they literally just changed the names. I think the
Really?
child is...
I think he's right, yeah.
Episode is a Phase 2 story.
Interesting. I learned something new today.
Good. It's always good to learn something new every day.
I think so. I think so. I just need all the more information that can annoy people in mixed gatherings. Did you know that in Star Trek the Next Generation second season, I just learned that.
Exactly. Well, you ready to wrap this up?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, we hit all the highlights and the
low lives, yeah. But that's good. Are we going to grade this, or thumbs up, thumbs down, or what are we going to do? What do you want?
I mean, I'll give it a C, a solid C.
Okay, C is a good one. Maybe C minus.
I'll give it a B minus. I really did like that intro.
That was C plus-ish for me.
Okay. So drop the high and the low, so it's a C.
A solid 79.
Well, that is true. But on behalf of NDB Media, thank you for joining us, everyone. Wish the chat room was a little more active. We know you're there, but hey, we'd like to hear your comments and stuff or your grades. But we will see you next week for another edition at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And if you hang out in Perth, it'll be 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. So everyone, goodbye. Take it easy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.